What's going on, everyone? Lauren Sisler here with AL.com. We got our SEC insider, Matt Zenitz, with us to talk some Alabama football heading into week 4 of the college football season as they take on Southern Miss. And we look back a little bit at the South Carolina football game, and obviously some concern on the defense, especially with the depth and the injuries that continue to pop up. Obviously, we saw them going into the season. They've continued. LaBryan Ray possibly out for the season. Any updates on that situation and where your biggest concern is at this point in terms of the depth for defense?
So they're exploring different medical options right now with LaBryan Ray, but the fear for them, the concern is that this is a long-term issue and something that could possibly knock him out for the season, which is just another significant blow to the defense if that is what ultimately happens, and really just the latest blow for them injury-wise for a team that has been snake-bitten with injuries over the course of the last month, losing Dylan Moses in August, Josh McMillan in August, Trey Sanders, a running back who would probably be playing some at this point, now LaBryan to go along with that. It's just tough regardless of how much talent you have.
So that's on the bad news side of the football. When we talk about the good news side of the football, when you bring in the grand scheme of things, I think one thing that we're seeing from this Alabama football team is more true freshmen playing than unprecedented for this Alabama football team. Is that good news there, or should we still be concerned?
I don't think they want to be dealing with the injuries that they have that are putting some of these freshmen in a position where they have to play. The good news is that as far as these freshmen, you have Justin Aboigbe, freshman defensive end, who's going to be the one who's probably responsible for stepping in for LaBryan Ray at defensive end. Somebody who, when LaBryan was hurt during the summer, because LaBryan had ankle surgery back the early part of the summer, missed a lot of the summer and then the early part of fall camp, and Justin was somebody who stepped in and got first team reps during that time, which gave him some experience. Unfortunately for him, Justin then had his own foot issue and missed the first 2 games of the season, but fortunately for them, he's back now, played in this past game, and his role, I'm sure, is going to grow moving forward. So fortunately for them, they have somebody like that to step in, a young, promising guy. But the biggest thing positive-wise for Alabama is, despite all of these issues defensively, despite the fact that Nick Saban is going to be in a position where he could have to start 4 true freshmen in the front 7 of that defense, that there just aren't too many teams around the country that are going to be capable of stopping Tua Tagovailoa and this receiving corps. So talking to people in the football world, this is probably the most talented group of receivers that Coach Saban has had at Alabama. Probably, arguably, the most talented group of receivers in the country, and simply put, there just aren't many teams around the country that are capable of slowing down that group to go along with obviously having Tua at quarterback. So it's really not going to be potentially until later in the year with a team like LSU where Alabama may be challenged.
Yeah.
Not to take anything away from Texas A&M, because Texas A&M is not a terrible team, but when you get into the LSUs of the world, that's when the true challenges are going to come.
And not to mention the 4 receivers have now eclipsed the 1,000 mark, the top 4 receivers. Jerry Jeudy at the top of that. Jalen Waddle waddled his way on in there. And certainly going to be interesting to see how things match up this week against Southern Miss, and then as we get into the bulk of SEC play, as Matt alluded to there. Thank you so much for all your insight. We appreciate it. And for all your Alabama Crimson Tide updates, you can visit us on AL.com.